Good day everyone. Today, me and my partner are going to present the Second Industrial Revolution. Second Industrial Revolution. In the century before World War II, chemical, electricity, and other science-based engineering branches developed electricity, telecommunications, cars, airplanes, and mass production. The Second Industrial Revolution, which lasted from the late 1800s to early 1900s, saw a surge of a new technology and inventions that led to the dramatic changes in the economy and how people live and work in Europe, Great Britain, and especially in the United States. Here are the 8 significant inventions from the Second Industrial Revolution. 1 is the air brake. Trains were invented before the Second Industrial Revolution, but there were frequent accidents because slowing and stopping them was a cumbersome process. Then came George Westinghouse, a largely self-taught engineer who dropped out of college after 3 months because he was too busy inventing things. In 1872, he obtained a patent for an ingenious system that used air pressure to keep train brakes off. When the train's engineer reduced the pressure, the brakes slowed the wheels and the train came to a precise stop. Westinghouse air brakes helped make a possible rapid growth of railroads as a safe, reliable means to support people and goods across the country. Next is the light bulb. Thomas Edison, perhaps the most famous inventor in American history, created many of his numerous inventions from the phonograph and the movie camera to the alkaline storage battery during the Second Industrial Revolution. But perhaps his most influential breakthrough was his invention and marketing of the first incandescent light bulb that was long-lasting and practical to worldwide. Edison came up with the idea of putting a carbonized bamboo filament inside a vacuum bulb and then heating it to produce light. He kept tinkering with his creation and eventually improved his bulb so much that they could last for 1,200 hours. Edison's electric lamp, for which he obtained a patent in January 1880, illuminated homes and businesses across the nation, and helped to create an indoor culture that defined its days by the clock rather than the sunrise and sundown. Number 3 is the petroleum refining. In the early 1900s, William Burton, a chemist and executive for the Standard Oil Co. in Indiana, developed a process in which crude oil was placed inside a container and heated until it reached a temperature of over 700 degrees Fahrenheit. At this temperature, the oil broke down into simpler, more useful byproducts. Burton gave us the array of distillates that runs from fuel oil to gasoline to petrochemical basics. Explains Carton. No cracking, no interstate highways. Next is the QWERTY typewriter keyboard. Like many modern inventions, the typewriter wasn't the result of a single genius but was gradually developed by a succession of visionaries starting in the mid-1700s. But it wasn't until the 1870s that the first really practical typewriters went on sale. In 1878, typing visionary Christopher Latham Stolz, a former journalist and customs inspector, came up with the idea of equipping typewriter with a QWERTY keyboard, whose arrangement of letters was designed to slow typists' fingers slightly and prevent typewriters from jamming. The QWERTY keyboard triumphed over the other arrangement of keys and became the popular system of choice. Number 5 is the skyscraper. Chicago's home insurance building completed in 1885. was the first modern skyscraper with a metal frame which allowed for a taller building without the enormous weight of traditional brickwork. It was the first use of steel in the building in the United States and marked the start of an age in which tall office buildings and office towers would rise in urban downtowns across the nation. This shift dramatically altered the look of cities and made it possible for much larger numbers of people to live and work in them. Next is the tractor. Before the advent of mechanized agriculture, farmers had to devote a portion of their acreage to raising grain to feed horses and mules since these animals helped them work the land. By the 1890s, farmers were already using steam-powered machines, but the Iowa inventor named John Froelich devised a solution. With the help of his mechanic Wheelman, Froelich replaced the steam apparatus with a single-cylinder gasoline-powered engine. After trying out the modified machine in South Dakota's big fields, he showed it some Iowa businessmen, who formed the Waterloo Gasoline Traction Engine Company. Next is the wireless. The invention of the telegraph in 1844 made it possible for the people to communicate for the first time over long distances, but they still were limited by the need to have miles of wires installed to connect the sender and the receiver. But starting in the mid-1890s, an Italian inventor named Guglielmo Marconi developed a better method transmitting messages through radio waves. Marconi didn't get a lot of encouragement in his own country, so he moved to England and formed a wireless telegraph company. By 1899, Marconi's technology was capable of sending messages across the English Channel and from ships. In 1901, he achieved another, even more spectacular success, when a wireless telegraph station in Cornwall, England successfully transmitted a message across the Atlantic Ocean to another of his stations in St. John's, Newfoundland. Marconi's breakthrough was the start of global communications that led to the modern world's mobile phones and the internet connecting billions of people. Next is the safety razor. Back in the days when the men's only choice for shaving was a straight razor that had to be regularly sharpened with a strap, it was safer and more convenient just to grow a beard. Initially, metallurgists and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology told him the idea wouldn't work. But eventually, he found an engineer trained at the same university, William Emery, who was able to create the blade. In 1901, Gillette and Nickerson formed the American Safety Razor Company, and Gillette obtained a patent for the safety razor with disposable blade in 1904. In 1895, a traveling salesman named King Gillette got the idea for a razor with a handle that used a tiny disposable metal blade that could be discarded in the trash and replaced when it eventually got dull. Industry and technology. A synergy between iron and steel, railroads and coal developed at the beginning of the Second Industrial Revolution. Railroads allowed cheap transportation of materials and products, which in turn led to cheap rails to build more roads. Railroads also benefit from cheap coal from the steam locomotives. This synergy led to the laying of 75,000 miles of track in the US. In the 1880s, the largest amount anywhere in the world history. There have been other times that have been called Second Industrial Revolution. Industrial Revolution may be renumbered by taking earlier developments such as rise of medieval technology in the 12th century or of ancient Chinese technology during the Tang Dynasty. or of an ancient Roman technology as first. Second Industrial Revolution has been used in the popular press and by technologists and industrialists to refer the changes following the spread of new technology after World War I. Excitement and debate over the dangers and benefits of the atomic age were more intense and lasting than those over the space age, but both were predicted to lead to another industrial revolution. At the start of 21st century, the term Second Industrial Revolution has been used to describe the anticipated effects of hypothetical molecular nanotechnology systems upon society. In this more recent scenario, they would render the majority of today's modern manufacturing process obsolete, transforming all facets of the modern economy. Subsequent industrial revolution include the digital revolution and environmental revolution. I think that's all for today. Thank you and goodbye.